What's going on, everybody? Go ahead and tag and share. We're gonna go ahead and get in with this is our third artist online artist workshop, free, and it's been absolutely amazing. First of all, thank everyone. I want to send a big thank you to everyone who sends messages saying, "Hey, man, this really blessed me." People who send donations anonymously. Some of them I know who's been doing it. Hey, appreciate it. Thank you so much. This is all just done just to kind of help encourage and to inspire and to pass on information, because I learned a lot from these workshops, man. So today, man, we have some amazing panelists that's going to talk on a subject that someone brought to my attention on last week about the state of R&B music, the state of gospel music, and the state of soul music. You know, music evolves, music changes all the time. And being an artist, you have to really kind of have I would say, have a strong foundation not to sway as far as your genre and what type of music that lives within your soul, trying to do what's hot, trying to do what's what you think will get others' attention, but it's not really true to you, will always end up bad in most cases. So we're going to talk about it, because music changes, and we're going to talk to some great people who know about those fields. But first, we're going to get a little business out of the way for you artists, musicians, and performers, and people out there who been performing, but you should be getting royalties. You should be getting paid for all of the stuff that you're doing, but you're not doing it. You're not capitalizing on your music. You're not capitalizing on your performances. It's things that you could do. And we're going to talk to a professional in the field, knows about metadata, knows about distributing. Do you need a distributor nowadays? We, on our last workshop with Andrew Lane out of LA, said nowadays you don't even need a record label to really get some substantial income off of your music. So I want to bring on Corbin Dukes. I'm about to learn something too, y'all. Who's a great panelist, and he's going to talk about distribution and a whole lot of other stuff.
Hey there, how you doing, Doc B?
Corbin, what's going on, my brother?
Man, everything going good. Thanks for having me.
Hey, no problem at all. Let us know your company and the president, the company that you're the president of and you're the founder and creator
of. The Ida Maxwell Company is a consulting agency. One of the biggest things that you're familiar with is our service called managed services. Is essentially where we don't take on the job for you, but what we do is we recommend, we consult, and let you know what different aspects of the industry you need to be paying attention to, and we offer the ability to facilitate that service on your behalf.
Okay, so great.
That takes care of all of the back end, such as copyright, to include like registering with Performer Rights Organization and distributing music on your behalf.
Man, how often do you come across artists who are they have a good catalog, they're putting out music, but they don't have those minor things like that intact?
All the time, because I think there's this misconception that it's easy, and unfortunately for people is a lot of people didn't see the back end that the label was taking care of. So they'd be like, oh, we don't need the label, but they don't realize it was the label that's making sure that Corbin Dukes is separate from the Corbin Dukes in Ohio or the Corbin Dukes in Mississippi, and actually getting that data in the background to make sure that who you're looking for is who you get.
Okay. Now, when it comes to registering with BMI, ASCAP, I don't know, do they still do CSAC?
Some people do still have CSAC. So those are all.
That's fairly easy though, right?
Yes, it's fairly easy. But I think what people misconceive is their purpose. So what you just named was Performing Rights Organization, otherwise known as PROS. So the job of Performing Rights Organization is to collect mechanical royalties. Now, mechanical royalties typically is talking about the physical use of a song. So, for example, mechanical royalties are collected when TNL performs somebody's song. The Moon has to pay a licensing fee. A license fee with ASCAP and BMI, and what they're basically saying is it's ASCAP and BMI's job to say like, oh, we know Anita Baker's song got sang and performed at the Moon, so Anita, here we're gonna send the money to your pro, and now you can get your royalties from that. It includes radio play, and movie syncs and show deals, sync deals, what some would call it.
Right. And folks don't realize that most establishments that, have live entertainment, they have those licenses and they have to pay for that. I know of an establishment here locally that didn't allow artists to perform other artists' songs for that same purpose. They didn't have the license. You could only perform your original material because at any time someone could be in the audience and they could, they could get fined. They can get fined for it. So artists get paid off of when they collect those royalties. What about streaming? Is that part of it as well? When your music is streamed?
Streaming is, I'm going to be honest, it's still a little fuzzy. But digital, because they're trying to decipher what is still considered like a physical use of it, technically. But the designee by Congress is actually Sound Exchange. They are technically the only legal entity that's supposed to be collecting digital royalties. But typically what they've been focusing on is more so like XM Radio, Pandora Radio, those internet radio type sites. So that's one thing that I see a lot of artists miss. They are not registered with Sound Exchange,
right?
So they miss out on the digital royalties.
Do they realize that when folks are streaming, their music, or if take for instance XM, you mentioned that. I know of an artist, and XM rates are high. I mean, they really pay good. I know of an artist who had a single that was in power rotation, and they actually had to play it on the jazz station. Dave Cox, I believe, his station. It's called Water World, or something like that. But this particular person got a really, really good sized check for that quarter just off of that one song. So when you actually perform it, or when you release a song and you start, sending it out to different stations or whatever, you should have that. Before you do that, what are your steps? What should you have done?
Well, first you really need to get your metadata together and be clear on what all the metadata is. So let me explain what metadata is. It's kind of like your birth certificate. So like your metadata, for example, on your driver's license, it has your height, you got your color, you got your eye color, so that even down to your dental records, that's considered like metadata. So if something happened and I need to identify who Doc is, I have things to help me point toward the right person. So you need to have the correct title, all the composers, you need to have the release date, you need to have sometimes some people need to know the location. All of that information is very important. You need to have your ISRC, which is your international.
What is that?
It's the International Standard Recording Code. Right. Now that is assigned by the distributor, whoever you go with, whether it be TuneCore or DistroKid. When you upload something to be distributed, it's automatically assigned to ISRC. And the best way I want people to frame that is think of it as the social security number for your track. It should never change. And you got to be very careful with this, because this is where a lot of people mess up their metadata. What they'll do is they'll have an older song that they really put out 5 years ago and they want to put it back out. And then they just re-upload it. They don't keep the same ISRC. So it's the same person, but it got a new social security number. So now you got double taxes, or you don't have none of the strings that came from the old one. So when you switch distributors, it's important that before you leave, you need to make sure you get your ISRCs for every track or every project that you have on there, so that if you decide to put it back up, you're using the exact same one. Because once you get assigned one, it should not change.
Okay. Those are some of the things as far as distribution. What are some of the things that you and your company can help artists with? Because we have a lot of guests that's going to be on, but I really want to kind of get to the meat of it, because we have a lot of great artists here in our area. So what are some of the things that you can help an artist with as far as starting to get that income to come in?
Well, the primary thing that I like to do is help them build an actual catalog where they can truly track it. So we go through almost like a checklist. Okay, so you got your song. First, let's see if you got everything that you need to copyright. Do you actually have a copy of the agreement? Because when it comes down to the legalities of it, a lot of people look at the pros, they're just collectors. They're just collecting on your behalf. If you have one issue, if I register something for, let's say a TNL song, let's say I was a writer. If I register something that's different from yours, BMI, ASCAP, they stop. They say, until y'all figure that out, nobody's getting paid. And it's up to you to have that documentation in place. So one thing that I like to do for my clients is when they're about to put out the song, the first thing we say is, okay, let me see the contract. Okay, let's slate it for copyright. Okay, let's make sure you get your ISRC assigned. Okay, let's make sure that it's registered with the pro. Let's make sure everything is correct and every I is dotted and every T is crossed. And once you get that, then it's able to easily manage it. Now, once I do, like I say, I always recommend anybody, if you're going to put in a song, you should plan for it. A lot of people, it may be a surprise to your consumer. A song can be a surprise to your fan base, but it shouldn't be a surprise to the distributors or the digital store.
Ooh, that's a nugget there, because I see so many people, including myself. I've made that mistake too, of releasing songs but not doing a pre-release or not leading up to it, not getting all of your. I mean, yeah, I know the creativity is flowing. You want to drop some. You want to drop some because other people, are doing it, or things of that nature. But you really need to have all of your stuff intact before you release. And how important is pre-releasing as far as promotion of your release before you do it?
Well, you got to think about it. Spotify releases like 40,000, uploads 40,000 new songs daily.
So
what? 40,000
daily?
Daily. So this is the thing. A lot of people like they say, oh, the internet changed a lot, but how you approach it pretty much still is the same. Spotify is a digital record store. Back in the day, you had a record store, you had disc jockeys, right?
Right.
You had to have some type of relationship to get in that record store, and you had to have some type of relationship. Right. You had to have some type of relationship for that disc jockey to play it, where people gonna know that, oh, this is a song that I can go buy in the record store, right?
Right.
So the only thing that really changed was the access for the consumer. Spotify, Pandora, iTunes, they're all their technical name is a digital record store. So you shouldn't be surprising them. If you want Spotify to put you in Rap Caviar, or you want them to put you in R&B, you have to give them time, because they're uploading 40,000 songs a day. So one thing that a lot of people don't know, Spotify, a lot of them have rules. Most digital record stores, if they don't get your track 7 days before the release date, you are automatically disqualified from any special algorithms or any special playlists that you could potentially be put in. But if you give them at least...
Real quick, we're going to go to the next guest, but I like that word you use, because a lot of people don't know how to track that. Algorithms. Please, real quick, before we move to the next person, tell me, what is that, and how important is it for artists to know about those analytics and algorithms, all that stuff?
So algorithm is pretty much equations, high level math. But what it is the purpose of Spotify. Their business purpose is they want to please as many people as they can. So people who give them the proper information, if they can find a song that I know Doc D is gonna like, that's gonna keep Doc D paying that $9.99 a month, I'm gonna get it to him. But if it's something that I know Doc D not gonna like, I'm gonna pay attention to the songs that he skips. I'm gonna pay attention to the song that he pauses. And all of that data just comes from what you supply them and how much time you give them. So it's an algorithm. So if you doing something at the last minute, you didn't even give the algorithm time. It's like, oh, we got 40,000 songs to sort through. I don't even have time to you might have the best song in the world. It might be the perfect song for Doc D, but you didn't give me enough time to see what Doc D listened to and go back and say, this might be a good song for people like Doc D to listen to. Let me put it in their Discover Weekly.
Cool. Thank you so much, man, because that's kind of like tagging. As far as somebody might be looking for new music, type in soul, easy listening, acoustic, things like that. Those are things that may pull your song if you have entered it correctly with that big word. It was the algorithms.
Algorithm.
That's it. Hey, y'all, let's work on that. Corbin, thank you so much, man, for taking time out of your Sunday, kind of join us. Let people know real quick how they can get in contact with you. His email is there on and phone number strolling at the bottom of the screen. If you guys want to get in contact with him for his services, to help you to get those things in order, definitely do it. Is there anything else you want to add to the people out there?
No, the phone number on the bottom of the screen is the best way to contact me. And for any type of consult or any type of services, or if you need to ask some more questions. Like I said, 850-629-6104. Somebody will answer, or you can leave a voicemail and we'll get right back to you.
Hey, man, appreciate you so much for taking time, man.
No problem.
Corbin Dukes, y'all. Corbin Dukes, make sure you get at him. Definitely. I do not want y'all talent to go to waste. Y'all out there releasing music. You doing, I mean, it's sounding good. I'm hearing it, I'm seeing it. But if your music is out and it's being streamed, so it's being played, you know, in radio stations, this and that, it's no reason. I don't care if it's a cent two, you should be getting paid. You should be getting paid. I mean, it's your creation. And you know, we want to do everything that we can do to kind of help people in that way, in that regard. I want to bring on now a very special artist, right? You know, right now, man. We're gonna go to R&B. When you talk about the state of R&B, what is real R&B? What is R&B music? So many people have different definitions. You know, different definitions. Has R&B music changed? I don't know. That kind of depends on who you ask. But I do know that as far as real singers and soulful, the soulfulness, you only have a few of those people that are out here and that believe in that type of persona. You know, you got Tank, who always talks about, you know, the essence of R&B, you know, these type artists. So I want to bring on a very special person, man. He was signed to University Records. He was label mates with Maya, Drew Hill. Man, did some amazing things and still writing, still in the game. I want to bring on a smooth brother by the name of Pat Rowe. P. Rowe, what's up, man?
What's going on, man? You all right?
Hey, man. Hey, you don't have the big afro like you did back in the day, but you didn't smooth it up, man.
Yeah, it's a little different now. I got a little older, so it ain't as it used to be, but it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, I'm chilling, man. This is a great honor, man. Thank you so much for taking time out of your Sunday. Join us on this workshop. Now, let's go back, man. Back in the days, man, you know, we out there making music in the room, producing, and all of a sudden you come in contact with Hawk Islam University, to get signed, you do some amazing things. How do you feel about the state of R&B music then and now, and where it is now, as far as the essence of R&B?
Well, the essence, in my opinion, is somewhat in limbo. I'm not going to say that there aren't any good real R&B singers out there, but
right.
It just depends. It just seems like the craft itself has kind of shifted, you know, because you got a lot of hip hop artists that really are singing.
Oh, yeah.
I think that we've gotten lost in that shuffle, so to speak. Like when I got signed or whatever, you know, we were kind of at the cusp or at the latter end of the real R&B. Back in 2001, the end of the 90s really was where R&B was really at its, you know, at its peak, obviously.
Right.
Mid 90s, end of the 90s, whatever. But now it's like, not to say that there aren't any good singers, they are, but it's just like it's a little more. I believe it's overproduced. Most R&B slash soul or whatever you want to call it, it's between, you know, normally between 60 BPMs and 80 or whatever. So, and that's beats per measure. So that's, you know, that is what it is. But when it comes to, I guess, the ad libs or the actual freelance that you can do on the records, it's more structured. And my key, like the older artists pretty much sung from the soul. So it was more like just, you know, like you give it all you got and you can feel it. You can just feel it in your gut. But now it's so structured that it's like, okay, you do your 8, 12, 16 bar and you just copy and paste it to the end of the song. So it's basically not giving you any levels or any dynamics, you know what I mean? So that makes it a little, it just makes it a little more bland, I think, in my opinion.
Okay. Well, with the hit Lifetime, and of course you guys had a hit with a cover of OJ's I say classic song, Cry Together.
Right.
It wasn't so much of the dancing and all of that back then. They stressed vocals then. Right. Of course, you had your individuals who were the I guess for the ladies, the pretty boy, this and that. But you had the stress put on the vocals. How important is it now? You know, because you have some hit songs out there that artists are more or less entertainers than real singers, so to speak.
Right. Well, I think it is not as important. You don't have to sing as much. I mean, like when we were coming up, and you had to sing the song over and over and over again, that part. I mean, you know, when we used to be in the studio, we'll sing that part, whether it's 4 bars, 8 bars, over and over again till you get it right. Now the pitch might be a little off here and there or whatever, but or you might have a little phlegm in your throat, but that gives it a little more, I guess, it gives it more context in my opinion. But now it's like you can sing the song one time, and you know, you put your little you know, pitch correction on it, auto tune or Melodyne, whatever, you know, and you're good to go. But you know, it's just not as much feeling, in my opinion. Now they're good artists. There are good artists out there, you know, and I come across them a lot. You know, one in particular, you know, young artist I never knew about, but the boy fly. You know what I'm saying? So I've been listening to him. His name Juno. Y'all check him out. Junie, I should say. He's pretty dope. But you know, in regards to just soulful music, as soulful and R&B music as a whole, it's just I think it's just it's in the back now towards, you know, it just doesn't, it's not in the mainstream anymore like it used to be, man. And we need that. I mean, we gotta have a little bit more balance, I think. Instead of all of the, you know, the hip hop, and they're singing, they're good, but it's just I miss what we used to do.
Oh yeah, and so many other people do too, just from their response to the question. Miss that I would say authentic R&B, and I'm not saying that the music that, and I see where you're getting at. You're talking about the rappers who are doing, you know, and that has its place too. Some great stuff out there as well, but it's more or less like, you know, they're rap singing or what have you. But when you go to back in the days, like when we were on tour, I remember. I don't know if you remember this. You, Casey, or Casey and Jojo, Kevin Wooden was at the piano. Mark, all us on a cruise, and we're just around the piano and just going, just blowing.
Right. That vibe. You see, that's the thing. You. That's the essence. The vibe. The vibe was just like that's what I mean. You know, I might not could put it in the words, but it's just a vibe. You can just feel it. You know what I'm saying? Like I get it, you know, right now I get a little chill when you hit that note and you're like, where that came from? You know what I'm saying? You're like, oh my God, it's not premeditated, it's just spontaneous. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're missing in the music game now, man. We need a little more spontaneity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I think that I think Bruno Mars gave tribute to that 80s R&B with his release, you know, going back, you know, capturing it. People realize that music is it'll never die. Your Jodeci's, your Drew Hills, you can put that stuff on right now. You can put on that, you know, These Are the Times. You put on Freaking You, any of that stuff right now, and you know, you can listen to the whole albums. You know, so when it comes to R&B, music, what does Pat Rowe have going on right now?
I was just in the studio today, so I'm looking to release something in the fourth quarter. You know, I've been saying that I was going to release something, but I've been just stacking and building my catalog. So I got a lot of people that hit me up in my inboxes or whatever, saying, when you going to put something out? When you going to put something out? So it's just a matter of time, man. So I'm looking to release something probably around December, my birthday or whatever, put something out there. And, you know, you'll look for it, you'll see it. You know what I mean? I'll be out there.
Yeah. When it comes to being signed to you know, label mates with Drew Hill and Maya and that whole experience, what advice can you give artists out there who are singing right now? Because you know, now you really don't need a label now. You know, you can really kind of do some amazing things on your own with digital distribution and just really kind of doing things on your own. But back then, you know, we was trying to get a little advance and all that kind of stuff, or what have you. Boy, wouldn't it be amazing if you had what we have now
back then?
Yes.
I mean, we'd be gone, man. I'd be so gone, man. I mean, it's like it's easy now. You know, back then you had to go to the mom and pop stores and you kind of like had to shake their hand and you had to go through the whole preliminaries, you know, just to say, okay. We actually took a trip to, you know, Universal where they actual produced the actual CDs and stuff. So that was incredible, you know, to learn all of that. But like now it's making it so the technology, that's one thing I got to give credit to. Now the technology hurt I think hurt a lot of the singers or the ones that sang, so to speak. But in addition, it also helped us because it made it a lot easier for us to be, discovered, so to speak. So you just, I think it's incredible to give advice though. When it comes to it, like if you were to get signed, you don't need to now. I wouldn't recommend even worrying about that. Just get your fan base locked in. You know what I mean? That way, and get your product right. Make sure your song, you like the song. You got to fall in love with the song yourself.
Right.
Once you get something that you really like and you feeling it, try to set up your own local. Start locally. How we did. We started right in Tallahassee. Then we went from Tallahassee to, then it expanded and went Georgia, and then it just started expanding. You know what I mean? That's how you have to take it gradually. You can't expect to just throw it out there and then boom. It doesn't happen like that. It never happens like that. Most of the people that you see that are successful, they've been doing it for years, and that's all. That's that's the best advice that I can give you. Just start small and work your way up.
Yeah, and it's ironic that you said that nothing is. Most people who think someone had an overnight success, they don't know the history.
No,
these people have been grinding and they are working hard. Yeah. The way that you got signed, I mean, can you share that with some of the viewers out there as far as some of the steps that you took to get signed?
Okay, well, first of all, we were in Tallahassee. I'm not going to put the date on it because that.
Yeah. Don't put the date. Don't put the date.
But back then, we started grinding. I got discovered through we started off with the Fat Cat Players or whatever.
Yeah,
it'd be a show that we would put on at the Moon there in Tallahassee once a month, and then how I really developed my craft. I got my performance down doing that. But when it comes to recording, when I got with you, Doc, it took it to the next level because I never knew how to structure, how to, stack the hooks and how you pan, your choruses or whatever to get that full feel on it. So we started recording at the crib. And from there, we went from there. Then we got Fam Youth Homecoming.
That's it.
I got my big break. Hawk Islam came down. He's the one that discovered Maya Drew Hill, like you were saying earlier.
Mm-hmm.
He came down and he saw me. He basically had I had to perform for him.
Right on the spot.
Right. So and he liked the way I sound. Obviously, I had the little look or whatever at the time, and solidified it with a performance at that Fat Cat that Sunday. And then, a week later, they flew me up to New York, and I'm in the building with Mike Tyson. They had this little so I was blown away, you know what I mean? Yeah. From there, I didn't know that it was, I thought, I was always thinking that it was a solo, situation, but, he had other, plans or whatever. And then I met the other three guys, shout out to Hollywood, Goldie, Katie, if y'all see this, I met them and it was just like, a no brainer, because those guys they brought a lot to the table and I knew I was there to hold my own. And then, it just gelled. It just went from there.
Oh man! Shouts out to Fat Cat, man, that really birthed not only myself, or was part of the birth of myself, but so many other talented individuals. P. Rowe and everyone else that came through. Man, great energy. And man, I thank you for taking time out of your schedule just to kind of share those stories and to kind of give us some insight on R&B music as well. Last but not least, man, I got to ask you this, man. Even through being signed and getting signed, and shouts out to Latripa Stallworth just checked in. How does it feel to have a song that basically, I believe this song is going to stand the test of time. Lifetime is performed at weddings, anniversaries. Not everybody. You got people get signed. Let's just be real. People get signed, and they'll sign to three labels. This and that. But not every artist is fortunate to get a hit or to get a song that's timeless. And I do believe like that song there. You go to a lot of different places, and you can say that Lifetime song, start singing it, and folks love it.
Right.
Who wrote that? You know, how did it work with them? With you being the lead on that?
Well, it was a collective effort. Shouts out to Kevin Jackson. All of us had input on it, the whole group. So it was pretty much, you know, kind of like everybody. We were just, it was a vibe, like we were speaking up earlier. We were in the studio up in Maryland, the studio, Night Flight Studios, one time, right up there in Fort Washington, Maryland. But yeah, as far as how it feels, bro, it's surreal, man. Like, and if like to this day, people kind of like just inquire and say they love that song. And I don't, you know, sometimes I used to think it was kind of like, you know, come on, man, stop tripping. You know what I'm saying? You know,
that's part of you, bro. That's part of you.
Yeah. So I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, I didn't even, you don't really know how you affecting them until they really come. Look, I want to get married to this song, or look, we got married. And then somebody hit me up in on Instagram, and they were like, you know, they tagged me in the post, and then their song, you know, the first song that they were getting married. It was at their reception or whatever, and their first song, bro, was our song, man. You know, like, bro. I mean, you know how big that was. I mean, that to me, I hit them up. You know, I started talking to them. They didn't believe me, but then, you know, I sent them a couple other links or whatever, and they say, "Oh, you are who you are." Yes, I'm that dude. I'm cut it off a little bit. It's just a little different, but same thing. So, you know, just a different time. But bro, it's amazing. I'm very thankful and grateful for the opportunity that I was given. And it's a blessing, bro.
Well, man, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule. And that R&B music, man, people felt that was what you was talking about. People felt the song. It wasn't, you know, a whole lot of auto-tune on it. Trust me, I'm not denouncing it or going against that. I'm just saying that it was, when Lifetime come in, that first line, what's the first line?
Been in love a time before.
See, this is what I'm talking about. Go ahead. Go ahead. What is it?
No, I'm good, man.
Pat Rowe, man, thank you so much, bro, man. And how can folks find you on Instagram and all that good stuff?
Just hit me at Instagram.com/Pat, PAT_Rowe, ROWE. That's PAT_ROWE, man.
Hey, man, keep that R&B alive, man. Keep bringing them vocals, man.
You know what? Always, bro.
Thank you so much, man.
Likewise.
Oh, man. Y'all give it up for yours truly, P. Rowe, Pat Rowe. And hey, go ahead and check out that song Lifetime too. Check it out. You might want to listen to it tonight. You know, if you're married or you got that boo or whatever, go ahead and put it on and just relax to it and hear some of the old school R&B and the essence of real vocals. You know, people really singing when they sweat in the studio. When you end up singing and really going at it. That's what it's all about. Let's go to soul music. Soul music. When people say soul music, it's not just a genre that I'm talking about. I'm talking about your soul. I'm talking about your soul. So imagine if you're going and you get signed to a label and you know what's in your heart, but the label is actually trying to get you to maybe do something different. But you've always wanted to be signed. Do you sell your soul? Do you, okay, well, I'll do, you know, I know I'm not a rapper, but I'm going to go ahead and rap because the, you know, label want me to. I'm going to go ahead and, you know, whatever, sing opera when I know I don't, whatever. Do you do that? You'll be amazed at how many artists are not really singing or performing their truth. I want to bring on this brother here, man, who never, ever, ever swayed from performing and singing his truth. None other than the national recording artist, Royce Lovett.
What's up,
man?
I'm good. How you doing?
Man, hey, man, I'm good, bro. I'm good, man. Everything's good with you?
Yes, man. And do I sound okay? Is everything cool?
Hey, man, you perfect, bro. You perfect.
Cool. Hey,
man,
that introduction, I ain't gonna lie, I appreciate it. I was over here like, dang, I sound pretty cool.
No, because folks don't know the backstories, man. Like, listen, I remember, shouts out to Ace, man, Adrian Morris. Ace used to tell me, hey, man, I got this young cat, man, that be coming over recording at the house, man. He be asking different stuff. I'm talking about this way back now, bro.
Yep.
Way back. way back. And I'm listening to music. I'm seeing this humble guy that's all around town. He's singing, doing, he starts out black on black rhyme, all different groups, But you were one of the few that I believe, you practice and you worked your craft and you never swayed from your truth, from doing what you wanted to do. Tell us how important is that to you, and were you ever asked to sway from performing your truth or what was in your soul?
Man, shouts out to Ace, man. I remember all them things he's talking about, going over to his crib, asking me.
It's way back.
Yes. Me and him made a record called Where's Your Faith? I performed that at for a long time, and I remember performing that. It got me on a local talent show that was in town. I forget the name of it at the moment. But anyway, always in pursuit of finding my sound. I think during that time, I was trying to sound like the artist I was liking, or the artist that I thought I should sound like, because right around that time is when I just realized that life had purpose, and if life had purpose, then maybe there's a God. And then I had all these questions about God and all this. And then, I was raised in a Christian home, and so my faith developed, and I thought I needed to be making music that sounded like Christian rappers at that time, gospel gangsters, XYZ. And even in making that record, it was interesting the feedback I would get from folks, because I actually remember that. I remember one of the judges at the talent show was like, you kind of threw me off because you sang and then you rapped, and you need to pick one.
And you need to what?
Yeah, I used to get that sometimes. Like you got to pick one. Like you sing it and then you rap. And then flash forward like a few years later, I fell in love with Lauryn Hill and fell in love with the guitar. And so now I'm playing guitar and I'm singing and I'm rapping. And I had so many people just be like, yo, you doing too much.
Oh, man.
Like, you doing way too much. Like, you from the South, either rap or play guitar and make this acoustic soul love music. So I think I've always struggled internally trying to find my sound. I never been the one. Sorry about that light right there. I never been the one to feel like I had to please others until I got signed.
Ooh, see, that's what I want to get to. That's what I want to get to. I like to get to the good stuff. I like to get to the good stuff. So once you got signed, and we don't have to name any labels. People know that you were signed to a major recording label. How was in a real briefly? How was that experience? And tell me about, I guess, the powers that be trying to get you to change.
Man, it was horrible.
No, I know you're gonna say that, bro.
The first year was horrible. I had all these expectations. I thought when you got signed, magic happened, and the ceiling breaks. People gonna be singing my music, rocking the shows, lighters in the air. That's what I thought.
Wow.
I got signed, and the funny thing is, like, right before I got signed, I had a lot of homies in my ear saying like, yo, you just need to make a switch. You got way too much message in your music. You need to make a switch and just make some commercial stuff and take off. I ended up getting signed, not changing my sound.
Right.
And so I felt validated in that. Like, I did it without changing my sound. I did it without moving the message.
Okay.
When I got signed, I actually signed to Motown Gospel, and which is a Christian-based label or gospel-based label. But the thing that was so hard is because it seemed, I'm trying to think back and not give away any nuggets before we go further.
Right.
But like, at the time, I thought like, hey, I'm at the label, send me down the machine like everybody else, and let's develop this music. I got tons of songs that I know people rock with. Let's develop it, enhance it, let's put it out there. The problem is my music was not Christian enough for the Christians.
Oh.
And not popular message sounding, let's party, let's get this money, such and such, for mainstream music. Radio. And the folks that was working my records at the time, they were like, hey, radio breaks artists, so we got to get you on the radio. And that's a true statement. Things have changed a little bit with streams and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
You could get the radio from streams. Anyway, so that first year being signed, I felt so defeated. I was sending a song, they would say, it's not there yet. I was sending a song, they would say, could you possibly like talk about Jesus a little bit? And I would be like, but you signed me when you heard my music. Like, I would say this all the time. I'm not Kirk Franklin.
Oh man.
I would say that all the time. And they would be like, I know.
Oh man. But see, you know what? You give I didn't say all it. I like to let you do it, but this really is blessing a lot of people. It's blessing me because we see you on national TV. Lord is still blessing. God is still blessing. And opening up even bigger doors. Being on the platform, Gwen Stefani, and that whole experience there. How many times have you had opportunities that you've turned down because you had to change your soul or something, within you in order to do it? So to briefly say, that whole first year, because none of us was budging on how a record was going to get made, nothing happened. And it took visions to align. It took someone to come in and say, yo, that song is actually good. For sometimes a champion needs to come along. You know what I'm saying? As an artist, sometimes as a thinker, as whatever God has called you to be, sometimes a champion needs to come along that gives something value and says, hey, this is dope. There's been many times that I felt like, hey, I made a song called That's That Jesus. And I remember when I first got that record, I was like, oh, y'all want me to say Jesus. This why you're giving me the record. But I was like, nah, I took it as a challenge. I was like, I'm gonna make this song mine. Like, this song gonna be me all the way. It had this like this Nelly vibe going on. So right. I kind of did this Nelly sing song rap. And I took one of my grandmother's old hymns and we mixed it into the song, and it was fire. Like, I'm proud of it. I love it. And so I try to say that, to answer your question, I think that like when you're presented with those times to that ruffle your feathers, you know what I mean? Yeah. To sway this way, sway that way. I think if you chase those rabbits, that's what you're doing essentially, because none of those things are promised. If somebody says, hey, like, I need you to make a record like this, it's going to work. That's not a promise. Oh. So I've done that many times. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, I have been like, yo, I need a record. I need to feed my family. I need a record. Yeah. I need to make a record that's gonna work for this movie. And I've had folks hit me up like, hey, we got this movie and this. Can you make something like this? Can you make something like this? And I'll be making something like this and making something like this and making something like this. And it's all on this computer right here. Yeah. Those rabbits they're not promised. You chasing rabbits still. Man. But with the champion, something else happens. You know what I mean? And so I think that you have to continue to be your own champion in what you believe you've been placed in the world to do. Right. As well as learn how to grow. Ooh. You know what I'm saying? I think there's a difference between growth. I think there's a difference between a pivot. And I think there's a difference between just flipping the script. You know what I'm saying? Financially,
let's just look at this from a financial area. If you want to become an artist because you think you about to get the bag right off the way, that it just don't come that way. And so I had to grow a little bit. I wanted to perform and get paid. I tell artists all the time, it's like, hey, a bar or a club is not going to pay you to come and sing your own music because they don't know you. You're not going to let people come to the bar or the club or the restaurant. I had to grow a little bit in my sound, and my guitar allowed me to do that because now I can play other people's music and I could mix my originals in there. Now I get money. Another side of things, like financially, like I've had to say, hey, I love music. I will grow in writing for other people, playing music for other folks. There's so much room inside music. You know what I mean?
Right.
I know some folks that are listening might be wondering like some other financial moves they can do to continue to go down the road of being an artist. You know, I think there's a lot of places to create, you know what I mean? So, I hope I answered your question pretty good.
I mean, yeah, you did. I was just letting you flow because, you know, in the midst of flowing, sometimes you touch on things that are within you and that you would probably ain't mean to come out. So sometimes I just let the person go ahead and talk so it can come out. And you
already talking about something else.
Listen, no, you've already let out some stuff that I didn't think that you were gonna say. As far as your first year being signed was horrible.
Yeah,
I mean,
I wasn't sleeping. My wife was worried about me. I had anxiety at night. It was not what I thought because I thought my expectations was here. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like when you get married, and you think my wife or my husband supposed to act like this, but actually you get married and you realize that it's being married a whole nother thing. You know what I'm saying? And that's what being on a record label is you sign this contract and y'all married to each other and y'all got to figure out how each other work together the best way, how y'all grow. After I had a champion come in and say, actually that song that you were worried about sound kind of good, we should do it. The person got excited. We did it. The song actually hit 47 on Billboard. Billboard charts.
Okay.
For adult contemporary. And for me, that was a win because there was no radio budget.
Right.
And
was that your first top 50?
Yeah, that was Write It on the Wall.
Okay.
And but still, even in there was, you know, some challenges that I was still trying to learn. Like I was trying to learn how radio worked. So in my head, I was like, oh, I made the chart. Yo, let's book it. But then it was like, hey, you made the chart, but there's still a lot of other like marketing promotions.
Right.
Who's your publicist? Like all these things have a cost and a budget. Yeah. And you're a newer artist on the label, we're still working. You know what I mean?
Okay, let's get back to the soul, and I'm taking that word out, using it for the artists out there. Soul music, what's in your soul? We talked about the music aspect, image aspect. Were you ever asked to change your image? You know what? I thought I'm going to answer this question the best I can because I see there were times where I thought I was being asked. I would be given clothes. I remember my first photo shoot. I had someone go shopping for me, and I was like, I brought stuff. And you know, she was dressing me and they was doing my hair and stuff, and they was putting like all my necklaces on. I was like, I usually just wear one necklace. And they was like all my necklaces on, and I was just like, I just don't feel like me. But what I had to learn from that, which I think a lot of artists need to learn too, is that sometimes you just need to be the artist, and you need someone else to make you palatable to other people. You know what I'm saying? Me at that time in my life,
for some reason I thought my chest hair was real fly. So I used to like want to wear like these deep V's. And they was like, hey, that might be cool, but on this album cover, you know, I want people who might not like that to be interested. So we're gonna put it in a different type of shirt. We're gonna rock these beads because we want to attract like Afrocentric type folks, but we don't want to be too Afrocentric because we still want to attract like the white Christians. So to do this, it's a whole conversation.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is that sometimes we can be so stubborn and we can feel like somebody's messing with our soul, but maybe iron is just sharpening iron and teaching you like how to grow a little bit, you know what I mean? Because even now, take The Voice. When I was on The Voice, like one of the things Gwen Stefani said to me, one of the reasons why I dug her so much, before I went on The Voice, I was like, man, I don't even really want to do it because I'm Black, I got dreads, they're gonna put me in a box.
Right.
That's the first thing that she said to me after introductions. Gwen said, she said, hey, we don't get a lot of time to talk, so I'm just gonna tell you, they're gonna look at your skin and your hair and they're gonna put you in a box. So I'm gonna need you to bring your character out through the TV. So I don't really want you to even worry about how you sing in the song. I want you to be thinking about how you feel on stage. I want you to think about how you feel through the camera. You know, another thing before I say that, things that look good in person don't look good on camera all the time. So like I wasn't really used to wearing like a corduroy jacket. And so you could feel like, you making me be fancy. I don't want to be fancy. You changing my soul. But actually on camera, the texture comes out better than just a regular jacket. Like the camera wants to see this texture. Anyway, I'm just trying to paint a picture there about like how I felt like, the stylist is trying to change me. Other things like just like people come in who choreograph dance. And they're like, yo, Royce, when you put your hand up like this, that looks cool on stage. But on camera, even if you look at me right now, on camera, it looks like you're not that confident. Right. It's kind of like, why are you not putting your hand up all the way?
Right.
And so they was like, if you put your hand up, I need you to do it strong. And you need to go boom, 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 boom. And so what I'm saying is, to your question, is that there's many times that I felt like people were trying to teach me to move a different way, speak a different way, use different vernacular, make Instagram posts a different way, wear different clothes. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And I used to think that was all changing me. I think there are moments, you know what I'm saying, where that is trying to change you. Like if you're a young lady and you do not want to be revealing, and someone's saying like, yo, I need you to drop it like it's hot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's one thing. You know what I mean? But if you're a young lady and letting your hair down makes you look beautiful, and for some reason you've always felt like if you did that you looked Hollywood, maybe because when you did that at school your friends said, oh, here come Hollywood, here come Hollywood, so you always try to stay humble and keep your hair up. But no, that's let your hair down or cut the hair off, like whatever. What I'm trying to say is right here is I think there are times where we can confuse. That's what I'm saying is I was confused when, to your question, when people would say, hey, I need you to do this, when actually sometimes those people are experts in those fields and you need to let them be an expert for you.
Ooh, that's a nugget. That's a nugget. I never heard anyone put it that way, because some of the stuff you were saying seemed like a movie. You know, it's like that stuff really happens. They come in, they dress you, they putting on 3 chains. I don't even wear the gold chains. They put on this and that. But then when you said that in some cases, people are experts in fashion expert in, hey, that color does not look right with that color. You need to do this. Your pants are really too big. I'm not trying to make them skin tight, but this is, so in some cases, people may not be trying to make you sell your soul. They're just trying to help you
elevate. I've seen you. I've taken things from you. Like when I've seen you manage the production of your shows, I'm taking notes. I'm watching that because I know that you're a producer, and not just musically, but you produce shows. You produce live shows. You produce visuals. You produce radio. I meet people all the time say, hey, I'm gonna start a podcast, and then I go listen to it and it's trash because there's production value that goes to it. Just because you and your homeboy have a cool banter back and forth don't mean that banter gonna be good on the air. Like production goes with it, you know what I'm saying? And not all the time people are trying to change your soul, but they want your soul to be seen, your soul to be heard.
Hey, stop right there. We got to put a nugget in that and get to our last guest. But not all the time people are trying to get you to sell your soul, but they're trying to get your soul to be seen. Ooh, if somebody can post that, hey, you know what? If I knew your Cash App, I'd send you an offering, but I don't know it. So hey, I ain't gonna send it to you. But if I knew it, I would. But that's a good one, man. Not all the time people are trying to get you to sell your soul, but they may be trying to get your soul to be seen. God, Royce Lovett, man. Hey, thank you so much for taking time. Hey, that's a quote, right? I will not forget that quote. You need to get the picture, go and put that quote up because I'm gonna share that everywhere, man, for real.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Hey, let people know how they can follow you, how they can find you, and all that good stuff, man.
Yeah, if they can see my name on the bottom of the screen, it's just like that. If it's the @Royce Lovett, LOVETT, on all the platforms, please engage with me. That tremendously helps the algorithm. If you comment and like and share, and I always write back. All my music is anywhere you like to listen to music. If you listen to it on Tidal, I get paid more. So listen to it on Tidal.
Hey, we're gonna have these workshops again, and we'd love to have you come back because you said a word that Corbin said, algorithms. Now you're telling people listen on Tidal because you get paid more. We're gonna have another one where we're not talking so much music, but we're talking that kind of stuff too. Because we gotta help each other, man.
100. Thanks, bro.
Hey, appreciate you, bro, man. All right, y'all give it up. Royce Lovett, last guest for the night, y'all. Man, normally it's ladies first, but this is not just a lady, this is a queen when it comes to gospel industry, radio promotions, management. She's worked with some of the best you wouldn't even believe. And humble. A lot of the stuff that she does is behind the scenes. If you're watching BET Sunday Best, hey, it wouldn't be a Sunday Best without folks like this particular person who's a producer of Sunday Best as well. I don't know if we have any pictures of things that she's accomplished, but it's just so many great things that Neely Dickerson has done, and I'm so happy that she took time out of her schedule today. That's Neely, man, with so many different people. Bishop Hayes, Kirk. I mean, come on, the list goes on and on and on and on. Let's bring on super promoter, producer, Neely Dickerson.
Hello. Happy Sunday, everybody. How you doing? Sunday.
Neely, thank you so much for taking time. I sure appreciate you so much.
You're welcome. How you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing good here in Florida. I know there's a lot going on, but thank you for, that make me feel special that you still found time to jump on this with everything. So I'm praying for you. And hey, you're my sister, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. How y'all doing out there in Florida?
Hey, we good. We want to ask the radio promoter, the queen about this gospel music. I posted a question today that everyone is talking about. If a gospel artist does not say who they're singing to, does that make the song? Should the song still be classified gospel? And I made examples of some of the lyrics. The way you make me feel. I love it when you hold me. All these are gospel are lyrics in gospel songs. You're on my mind all the time. And these are songs that I have to play because they, they power,
Mm-hmm.
Does
Mm-hmm.
is that still a gospel song?
Yeah. I think all songs are on some level given by inspiration of the Spirit. Sometimes it may not always be the Holy Spirit, but if you listen to songs like "You're Amazing Just the Way You Are" by Bruno Mars, "Lord, You're Amazing Just the Way You Are," that's like worship and praise for me. So I think there's, if you listen to a song, "Outstanding," "Lord, You Knock Me Out." I mean, we've done that for years. There's just so many songs in the world that you can take and flip the lyric, and for me, I usually just end up talking about Jesus. So I just think at some point you got to figure out what it is and how it all is going to happen. So I think, I think that's like a tricky question. For me, it is something where with people, you just have to figure out how you're going to, where you place it. I think Jesus can be seen in everything. And you have to figure out where how you looking, but I think he can be seen even in stuff that may not be seeable. Like, you figure it out, you know what I mean? Even stuff that's raunchy, you can figure it out and be like, I can see how Jesus can fix that, and how he would potentially move on that person's heart. And when I say Jesus, I mean the Holy Spirit, Jesus. They're all one for me. But I think I see the longer I live life and the more older I get, um, I see him in everything and stuff that don't even make sense sometimes. And I'm like, ooh, okay, Lord, I hear you. I see you. And I like the fact that he makes his presence known. You know what I mean? Hello, can you hear me? Yeah.
Oh
Sometimes
yeah,
he just makes his presence felt and known in different ways. And I'm sitting there going, oh, I wasn't even thinking about you right here, but here you come. That means he's interrupting me, and he's like, "Nah, here I am. This we're gonna do this." And I like that. I like our relationship is like that. So I like to see him in different places and in places that you least expect. So I like it.
So even with the song, Jonathan McReynolds, I know you got a lot going on. Handle your business. We're just,
I'm listening
we're
to
all
you.
family. We're all family.
Okay.
John McReynolds song, "Gotta Have You." I gotta have you. I gotta have you. But I talked to PJ Morton, who penned the song, and when Jonathan heard it, he actually penned it as an R&B song.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I gotta have you, girl, and I gotta have you too, Jesus. So I like it, both of you, in different ways. I mean, what's wrong with that? I mean, I think people get a little too spooky deep, you know what I mean, and scary deep. And I just think sometimes we need to just be like, who created you for us? Like, God created woman for man and people for each other. I have to be specific now. And I think that you have to figure out, depending on what you're doing, who that you is. And that's okay. That's okay. There's different times we have you. It could be a child sometimes.
Wow.
You just had a baby boy. It could be like, I gotta have you right now. At this moment, I want to be with you right now. So it just depends. It depends on any given situation what that you means.
Wow. Being a producer at Sunday Best, you've seen all the artists that come through, from Leandra Johnson. Just everybody. How has gospel music changed for you? And I love that Strong Name song too. That's one of you're managing. Who's that? Darius.
There's Polk.
Yeah, that Strong Name. I love that.
It's a good song, right?
Yeah, I love it. How being in radio promotions and the president of your own company, let people know real quick, because I know you have to go. Why do an artist need a radio promoter? And also, how has gospel music changed?
Oh, that's a lot. You need a radio promoter because if you don't have relationships, first of all, if me and you decided right now to become a group, we are now a group with a song that we can put on iTunes somewhere for people to go listen to, right?
Right.
So now we're a song and we'd be like, oh, we want to get airplay. So we don't have relationship with radio, but we're gonna try it, right? So you're gonna take 10 people, I'm gonna take 10 people, we're gonna call them and get in their way. Tracy Bethea does not care about us because the listeners don't care about us because we don't make people stay tuned into her station. So if they're not gonna stay tuned into her station, then she doesn't really care about listening to us. So we have to make sure that she has to make sure that she keeps people tuned in and listening to what's going on her station. Me and you, D and N, it's not gonna happen. So if you have a song that the Lord gave to you and your cousin told you is the song that's gonna be the next move in the gospel music industry, there's still some stuff that comes with that here. So although you're gonna be the next move, you got to be prepared and have a plan to make that move happen. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen with support. It doesn't happen with a strategy. And Jesus is a part of even all of that. And he has a plan for all of that. So he made David was declared king when he was 14, but he didn't become king until he was probably like 40. So in between all of that, he killed bears and lions and Goliath and all kind of stuff. He had to run from Saul in the cave. So it's a process. So you have to have, but in their process, you develop relationships. So you develop relationships with Doc D. You develop relationships with the different program directors. Over time, you don't wear them out even if you don't know them. So in order to get in line, you hire somebody like an Ebony or a Snoopy or myself or whoever has relationships, and you'll get closer to the front of the line faster. But that still doesn't mean your song doesn't have to have legs for it to work. So again, and let's be clear. Having dealt with so many programmers and people who are PDs, programmers really their last thing is music. Their first thing isn't music. Now they want to play hit songs that will keep people tuned in, but they have to tell us the weather, they have to tell us the time, and they have to tell us. They have to sell that, do those sales. You know what I mean? Right. So if they're not doing that, then it's a challenge. So everybody has to understand that radio isn't about music solely. It is about music, but not about music solely. So when you're developing your song, when you're doing all that stuff, you have to understand the big picture. So sometimes if you want to be heard, you better buy your radio spot.
Ooh. Now, and that's a clever.
Then it's a clever way to do that, huh?
That's a clever way to do it.
That's also sometimes when you playing that song, that's also a spin if it plays long enough, depending on how long your spot is. I'm serious, it'll detect it.
Come on,
it's a cheat.
Come on, Neely. And if it's a BDS station, if it's a and our rates are not high. I'm not I'm just tell you straight up, they're not excessive. I mean, you could get a good amount of spins, and not only are you creating that leverage, but you also get into the people's minds. It's commercials that I hear. That as soon as I hear a commercial, I know what it is in 2-3 seconds.
Yep. And that's a way to also make people know who you are. And it's also, you're developing now a big relationship with the station, more than just, can you do for me? Can you do for me? Because a lot of stations, a lot of artists, a lot of times new artists want to know what you can do for them. Well, what can you do for them? Because your record ain't going to don't do much. I'm sorry. Yolanda's record will do much because Yolanda got track record. She got hits. She got a catalog. And unless you can say catalog, you got one song. We living on one single, and the reason that so many artists are frustrated is because you can't live off of one song. You can live off a catalog. So that's why they'd be like, well, why do they always use Kirk Franklin? Why do they always use Yolanda Adams? Name 5 songs by each of those artists. And if you know them, I know them. So at that point, that's catalog. So that's why we keep calling Yolanda, because when Doc needs to do a show and sell seats, unfortunately, Neely is not going to put the people in the seat, but Yolanda will. And then I get the byproduct of what Yolanda brought to the table. And I better sing the 5 minutes that he gave me. I better kill it and leave. Don't try to overdo it and say, oh, the spirit fell. Usually he didn't. People think I mean when I say that. Usually he didn't. You fell. And you was like, you're not killing the people like you want to get the response. So now you're going to keep singing and dragging it out. And then I'm sitting.
Wait. This is long. You stepping on a couple toes, Neely. You stepping on a couple toes, because it's almost like if you're saying, like, even like take for instance Sunday Best, I've been privileged to judge the preliminary, the preliminary a couple of times, and you tell folks, hey, when we say cut. I mean, even I know the spirit is moving. So will folks sometimes act as if they in the spirit to get a reaction if they're not getting
I think we've seen them outside of Sunday best. I think you've been at church before and seen somebody that really didn't get the house the way they wanted to. So sometimes they'll keep going, and everybody be like, "Oh, I'm tired." So it happens with preachers. If they bomb and they keep going, and you be like, "No, Jesus came and He's gone too. We ready to go home." So yes, I think people have a tendency to do, to try to get the feel, want the artist, want you to come on and connect with them and all that stuff. And sometimes it's like, nah, dog, I'm not happening. It's not happening.
How
So and you know what? I think it's better to leave me wanting more. If you was good, you leave me wanting more, and I'm like, oh my God, who was that artist? Who was? Remember you sang that song, and that's when the first time I heard Melvin Crispell. That's how it was. I didn't know who he was, and I just was like, who is that little over there? And then he sang again, and every time he just killed you in that 2 or 3 minutes he had, and he walked off stage, and you was like, that boy is something. And you just want people to keep you wanting more.
Last but not least, and I thank you so much for the time. Gospel music for the gospel artists that are out there. What can you tell them? What's the biggest tip you can tell them as far as to help them elevate a level? Meaning something that you see that is always being done wrong.
Always being done wrong.
Yeah.
I would prefer to say what I think is being done right, but what is always being done wrong?
Something that, because you have artists that come to you all the time, asking, can you promote this single? Can you do this? Can you help me get this out?
Always being done wrong. I think things that artists can do right is be thankful if they develop a relationship with a radio personality. Send thank you cards. People do not know the value of a thank you letter, a thank you card, or just a thank you note or a thank you basket. You want to learn how to get somebody to remember you at radio? Send them a thank you card. My God, from on high, they will open doors for you that you never thought about. Be appreciative, be considerate. It's little things that artists forget to do, and that's like say thank you to the person that's working your record if you get an ad, because you probably ain't had none. So if you get an ad, tell them thank you. Guess how hard that worked for you. Guess how much that that on-air personality will work if you send them a thank you note. Be considerate, be thankful. We don't have a lot of that now. People have an entitlement of, well, I put out a record. I can get it on iTunes, and you need to play it so people can buy it. Not necessarily. So I think we have a generation of artists, and it's old and young. I'm not trying to say it's millennials or generation A, B, C, D, F, G, X, Y, Z, whatever they are now. It's an entitlement that comes with artists that like, oh, I gave you my song, so you're supposed to play it. Why? You got to prove stuff to people. And when I say prove, you got to prove that you're talented. You got to prove that you're talented off the record, on the record. You got to prove that you understand time and timing. One of the best things to do is watch artists that you admire. Be you, but watch artists that you admire, and sometimes watch how they move. One of my best artists for stage presence is BB Winans. It's just something about his stage presence. One of my best artists for timeliness is Yolanda Adams. Yolanda is
We lost you a little bit.
time.
Okay,
Can you
say
hear
that
me
last
now?
thing about Yolanda.
Oh, she's always timely. She's on time. If she's supposed to be somewhere at 3, she gets there at 2:30. She's always ready for. She's
Well, we lost you because you're ringing off the hook. We know you got a lot going on because we lost you, but Neely, we thank you so much, and we have your website scrolling at the bottom of the screen. I'm quite sure people are going to reach out for you from this workshop. But thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule, Neely. All right, I can't hear you, but I'll assume that you're saying, Doc, you the best program director in the world. That's what I think you're saying. All right, thank you so much. Oh, all right, y'all. Man, she's a busy woman, but I tell you, man, it is so great to have people in these positions that dedicated time for this workshop. We're going to do it again real soon. Y'all post, share. Also, if you want to donate to help this go on, you can donate to Cash App right there. Cash App is across the screen. Don't matter. I don't care if it's 50 cents, $1. It don't matter. But it helps with the production of it and to keep this going on, man. So we thank y'all so much. And hopefully, shouts out to Jay Reezy. Shouts out to Treva. Shouts out to Tobias Tanker. Shouts out to everybody that chimed in. Thank you so much. And we'll do it again soon, y'all. All right. Hope y'all learned something because I did. See you next time.